Be hurricane prepared. Made possible by Olympus Insurance. On the web at olympusfl.com. Social media has changed the way we communicate and share information both on a personal and business level. In times of disaster such as a hurricane, learning how to effectively put social media to work for you can help to cut through the inevitable noise of information and allow you to be better informed.
Social media is a real challenge for local governments and local emergency management. Some local governments have very conservative policies about the use of social media. Other communities have engaged in social media every day for its business operations. So I think part of the challenge there that local government might have is to understand, or is to make sure, number one, that you have to be accurate in your postings with social media. Secondly, I know that in this community from the BP oil spill Deepwater Horizon event, we had some postings that were involved in social media that were hoaxes. So we have to be very careful. There's not any real validation in social media unless you can confirm the source well ahead of time. So it might be helpful. It's one other tool. It's not the all-encompassing tool for alert or notification or validation necessarily, but it might be some good general information to have at your disposal. Don't take that as your single source of information. Just know that it's a clue that something's out there and you need to validate what other information's local emergency instructions might be issued. That's part of your responsibility in this social media world that we live in.
Ahead of the storm or ahead of the disaster, the ability to have better maps for tracking information, where it's going to hit, what communities are going to be affected, what you should do, how to prepare. It's similar to the news. The news is always giving you that kind of information anyway, but they don't have time to really drill down to individual communities or very detailed information. They just have time for these little sound bites on TV. So ahead of time, the internet gives you the ability to find out more about what's going to potentially happen and how to get ready for it. During the storm or during any disaster, you've got Twitter is big in getting immediate information out, so is Facebook, but it could even just be a website to really communicate and link people together. This is what's going on in my community, this is where I need help, here's all the information, and really take some of the weight off of the government agencies for having to, in the news media outlets, that have to get all that information out. And then after the storm, similarly, communities need to start rebuilding, recovering. How do we form groups around certain areas that need to be rebuilt? How do we talk about, how do we unite the community and share information faster? And I think the internet has really, while there are some rumors and some misinformation that go out there, overall, it's helped us be more aware of what's going to happen. During the event, it gets information out faster about what's going on, and then it helps us get communities back together faster by being able to share all that. Whether it be Twitter, whether it be Facebook, or whether it just be sending a direct text message, to a family member, that's one of the best ways to let people know you're okay, or to communicate when you can't make phone calls. And it's really not everybody knows this, but you can tweet or update your Facebook by sending a text message to those services, and you can go to their websites and find out how to do that. So it's good ahead of time to just know how to do that. Even if you're not going to update your, you could have a smartphone that's got an app with Facebook. Well, that's great for every day. But it's also good to know, how do I update it with a text message, so that if I can't get my apps working, but I've got basic text messaging service. Something else too is, older family members that, you might have bought them a cell phone, they may have a cell phone, but they don't really use text messaging. It's good to, especially if there's an event or a storm approaching, make sure they know how to text as well, because that might be your only way of getting in touch with them. So another great way text messaging can be used is to subscribe to your city or county's emergency alerts. They don't do a great job advertising these, but if you go to your city or county's webpage and then follow your way to their emergency section, if you live in the Gulf, almost all of them will have some page that says emergency. See if they have an icon that says register here for emergency alerts or for text message alerts. And what these are is that, let's say there's a tornado warning and you've signed up for your city's emergency alerts. Your phone will get a text message when the city sends out that tornado warning. And more and more cities I find have these, and whether it's in the middle of the night or any time of the day, you can get this text message from your city with that important information. And then again, if you lose power to your house, and the city needs to get out information, if you don't have your TV or your computer available, you can keep receiving those text messages generally from the city with important updates. With OneStorm, what we tried to do is really simplify the whole planning process by giving families a step-by-step guide where they can enter where they live, a little bit of information about their family members, and then be given a list of supplies based on their family size, location, and needs to go out to Publix or to Lowe's and go out and purchase those supplies. And then every 2 weeks, what we'll do is we remind people if they don't have one of those supplies to go get it. So typically you may see a list of items in a newspaper, hey, go get these, but as soon as you lose that list, forget it, you're not getting the rest of the things on it. We try to be a little bit more proactive by not being annoying, but every 2 weeks saying, hey, you still don't have your canned goods, so get completely prepared.